Electric vehicle technology. As the conventional vehicles runs on internal combustion engines which consume petrol fuel that burns and emits a significantly larger quantity of greenhouse gases, whereas advanced fuel vehicles designed to operate on dual fuel consumption, namely petroleum and diesel, also include electrical vehicles, biofuel vehicles, fuel cell vehicles, compressed natural gas CNG vehicles, etc. Electrical vehicles are specially designed with either fractional or entire thrust propulsion source supplied from electricity, along with its numerous ranges and the combination of the HEV and ICE and electrical motor shares a larger portion of fuel economy as compared to similar sized vehicles. The plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles PHEV has a smaller internal combustion engine in comparison with the HEV. The introduction of larger battery able to run vehicle to cover a estimated mileage of 20 to 60 miles. Furthermore, with the help of the external electrical source PHEV, a battery gets recharged by just plugging in here. Before being the flexibility adjustment with rechargeable battery as an alternative fuel efficient system. PHEV also another flexibility of the conventional fuels such as petroleum, biofuels, etc. for longer journey. For instance, if we look around in the present market, PHEVs are associated with the renewed brands such as different types of the Toyota, Pavaris and Rahmans and Vasant, Singi and so many companies. The main approach of any PHEVs is a acquire power through a rechargeable electric battery and support of up to 100 miles run on a full charged battery. The core representation of PHEV is to serve a purpose of carbon-free transportation, whereas renewable energy plays a vital role to generate electricity for charging. Electrical vehicle technology overview consists of the vehicle overview, vehicle ranges, regenerative braking modes, drivetrain types and energy. Now coming to the vehicle overview. Electric vehicle technology has advanced rapidly since its introduction, and today there are many plug-in hybrid and battery electric vehicle options available on the market. But how exactly do electric vehicles work and what are their advantages? Let us start by the considering the legend of the vehicle technology. The internal combustion engine or ICE. This vehicle is propelled by a combustion engine that can only be fueled by a gasoline. The technology is conventional, well established and reliable, but it consumes a large amount of the gasoline, which can be costly in many ways. Enter the electric vehicle drivetrain. Unlike internal combustion technology, which uses combustion and pressure to propel a vehicle, electric vehicles or EVs are propelled by electromagnetism. These vehicles are used electricity typically stored in a battery to power an electric motor. EV technology is used in hybrid electric vehicles or HEVs, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or PHEVs, and battery electric vehicles or BEVs. The hybrid electric vehicles was first EV technology to reach the modern vehicle market. HEVs such as a Toyota Prius and Lexus CT200H are popular vehicles of their increased fuel efficiency. These vehicles combine an internal combustion engine and an electric motor with a small battery for storing electricity. Although an HEV is only fueled by gasoline, the vehicle's battery is also used to power electrical motor. The electricity stored in the battery primarily comes from recapturing energy through regenerative braking. This use of recaptured energy is one of the reasons of HEV is more fuel efficient than typical ICE vehicle. Like the original hybrid, the plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles is propelled by an internal combustion engine and an electric motor. However, the PEHV has a much larger battery pack that can be charged using electric vehicle supply equipment or EVSE. This enables the vehicle to operate in all electric mode, in which the vehicle is propelled using only the electric motor until the battery is mostly depleted, and at this point the vehicle operates in hybrid mode until the fuel is in the gas tank is depleted. Increasing the battery size and running the vehicle on electricity reduces the tailpipe emissions and increase the vehicle's fuel and energy efficiency. The final type of electric vehicle technology is the battery electric vehicle. This vehicle has no internal combustion engine and is powered only by the battery and electric motor. BEVs don't use gasoline and are only charged by the EVSE. A BEV has the largest battery of all the vehicle types. It's also the most energy efficient and produces zero tailpipe emissions. And coming to the second one, vehicle ranges. Because of each vehicle type incorporates different technologies, the range these vehicles can travel different as well. ICE vehicles fueled only on gasoline typically can travel 350 to 450 miles on a fuel tank of gas. Hybrid electric vehicles are more efficient in their use of gasoline and typically can travel 550 to 700 miles. Although they do have a battery and electric motor, this battery is only fueled during typical drive cycle and is not a primary source of propulsion. However, due to regenerative braking, this small battery is the primary reason for the hybrid's increased fuel efficiency and range. The larger battery in a plug-in hybrid electric vehicles enables the vehicle to operate in all electric mode, typically traveling 20 to 40 miles just on electricity. PEHVs are designed on support average daily computes and easy overnight recharging using a standard outlet. After most of the energy in battery is depleted, the vehicle can operate in hybrid mode for longer distances, running off gasoline and use a small portion of the battery to support the electric drivetrain for a few full vehicle range of 450 to 550 miles. Finally, a battery electric vehicles has the simplest and most efficient drivetrain with a typical battery range of 150 to 300 miles. BEVs can be charged overnight using a standard residential level 2 EVSE. Coming to the part 3, EV regenerative braking modes. The most noticeable difference between the driving an electric vehicle and a conventional ICE vehicle is regenerative braking. Regenerative braking means the electric motor is operated in reverse, thereby applying a braking force through electromagnetism. This recaptures some of the vehicle's kinetic energy by charging the battery. Some electric vehicles models have specific driving modes that incorporate the varying levels of the regenerative braking. Under normal driving conditions, an electric vehicle such as the Tesla Model S engages or regenerative braking to slow the vehicle when the driver removes their foot from the accelerator. The standard setting provides the maximum amount of regenerative braking power. It captures the most energy and reduces the wear and tear on the brakes. Alternatively, the low setting incorporates a reduced regenerative braking force that recaptures less energy but allows the vehicle to coast farther than in the standard mode. An electric vehicle like the Tesla Model S also has specific settings for how the braking system operates when the vehicle is stopped or moving at very low speeds. The creep mode is designed to replicate the idling speed of an ICE vehicle. This energizes regenerative braking and applies a small amount of the motor torque when stopped, or at low speeds when the driver's foot is off the accelerator. This feature is most commonly used in a parking lot when searching for a place to park. Alternatively, the roll setting is also disengages regenerative braking at low speeds but does not apply motor torque. This allows the vehicle to roll freely, similar to a vehicle in neutral. Finally, the hold setting continues to engage the regenerative braking until the vehicle comes to a complete stop, which helps reduce brake wear and produces the greatest amount of the recaptured energy. This feature also automatically engages the friction brakes when the vehicle is completely stopped, holding the vehicle in place until the driver's foot is placed on brake or the accelerator. In all of these braking modes, the brake pedal is always available and operates the same way as in a conventional vehicle under emergency braking conditions. Regenerative braking modes vary with each vehicle make and model. For example, the Nissan Leaf provides 3 levels of regenerative braking modes, and the Bolt system involves depressing pedalist next to the steering wheels to maximize the regenerative braking and bring the vehicle to a complete stop. Coming to the fourth one, PHEV drivetrain modes. With two completely separate drivetrains, electric and consumption, PHEVs can incorporate regenerative braking and also operate under many different driving modes. For example, the Ford Fusion has 3 driving modes: Auto EV, EV Now, and EV Later, each with specific uses. The Auto EV mode incorporates an optimized combination of the battery energy and gasoline to provide the most efficient use of both fuel sources. This model is ideal for travel at faster, higher speeds. The EV Now mode relies entirely on the battery and electric drivetrain, which results in zero tailpipe emission similar to a battery electric vehicles. Finally, the EV Later mode conserves the battery capacity for use later in a trip. This mode is ideal for trips that combine traveling at a highway and in town speeds. It uses a combustion engine at highway speeds and reserves energy for EV Now mode during a later portion of the trip when the electric drivetrain is most efficient. Coming to the part number 5, EVSE types. All plug-in electric vehicles, including plug-in hybrids and battery electric vehicles, use electric vehicle supply energy or EVSE to charge their batteries. There are three common types of EVSE. The first is referred to as a level 1 charger. Typically, these units are portable cord sets that run off a standard 120 volts household outlet and provide approximately 2 to 5 miles of range per hour of charging. This is the most affordable type of charger, but it is limited in the daily range it can supply to a vehicle. Therefore, this application is most common for PHEVs with smaller batteries or for BEV drivers with a short daily compute to the work. Coming to the level 2, chargers provides more energy per hour and run off 208 or 240 volts. These chargers are more expensive and are typically installed as permanent pedestal style or wall mounted units. They provide a vehicle with about 10 to 20 miles of range per hour of charging. This is the most common application for long range BEVs as well as workplace and public charging stations. Finally, a DC fast charger is the most expensive type of charger, but it provides the most energy per hour in the vehicle. A standard DC fast charger can provide 60 to 80 miles of range is about 20 minutes. These chargers are most common along highways and are only recommended to support occasionally long distance trips because frequently charging the battery at a high power level can lead to battery degradation. Coming to the next part, reporting energy consumption, that is energy. For federal fleet vehicles, reporting energy consumption is the requirement of doing business. With the ICE vehicles, fuel consumption is typically reported through the fuel card provider that records each fueling transaction. However, the electric vehicles can be charged on-site or off-site at wall outlets, simple EVSE units and networked units. Although many of these charging units can record and store transactions, some of the most affordable EVSE may not. Therefore, the recommended method for measuring energy consumption expressed in kilowatt hours is through the telematics. Telematics platforms commonly capture kilowatt hours and display them in an online dashboard. A field manager can select a custom date range to find the vehicle's energy consumption in kilowatt hours over a certain time period. This date range can be applied to all the electric vehicles in a field, providing the information necessary for annual federal field reporting. In all else fails, the Departments of Energy Federal Energy Management Program has a simple way to estimate the vehicle energy consumption. Take the vehicle annual mileage reading and multiply by its vehicle fuel economy listed in kilowatt hour per mile on fuel economic. Annual miles into kilowatt hour per mile equal to annual kilowatt hour. Now that you know all about the EV types, driving ranges, regenerative braking, drivetrains and charging, and you are ready to drive your new electric vehicle. Different types of electric vehicles. Currently, there are three main types of electric vehicles that have passed from the demonstration to the production stage of the manufacturing process. These are shown in this particular table, and they are the hybrid electric vehicles HEVs, the plug-in electric vehicles PHEVs, and the fuel electric vehicles FEVs. The major difference between these types of the vehicles is that for the last two types, the battery can be extremely recharged. Different types of electric vehicles are described here. Particularly in hybrid electric vehicles, and this type of hybrid electric vehicle which combines the two distinguished power sources in order to provide the driving power. The two power sources are conventionally internal combustion engine ICE and a battery or electric motor system. The presence of the battery and electric motor system is intended to achieve their better vehicle fuel economy or better performance than the conventional ICE vehicle. This is essential achieved since the low efficiency ICE is now used in combustion with the much higher efficiency power source such as battery. Currently, a variety of HEV types exist in the automotive market with varying degrees in dependence of the ICE or electric motor operation. The size of the components such as the ICE and electric motor can significantly influence the control strategy of HEV. The ratio between the maximum power of the electric motor and the maximum power of the powertrain is referred to as a hybridization ratio. A high hybridization ratio results in a larger electric path and a small ICE. On the other hand, a low hybridization ratio results in a small electric path and a larger ICE. A simplified version of the hybrid electric trains is so-called mild hybrid, which has the integrated starter generator ISG instead of an electric propulsion motor. And coming to the next type, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. And now new and upcoming technology in the transport sector, basically they are similar to the HEVs in is that they have both the ICE and battery pack as a means to provide driving power. In fact, PHEVs are defined as HEVs that have a battery storage system of the 4 kilowatt hour or more, a means of recharging the battery from the external source and the ability to drive at least 16 km in electric mode. These vehicles are able to run on fossil fuels and on electricity or a combination of the both, leading a wide variety of the potential advantages including reduced dependence on the oil. Coming to the next one, fuel cell electric vehicles, FCEVs. And FEVs are powered on only by an electric motor or a traction motor rather than a gasoline ICE. Vehicles powered by fuel cells are also considered to be electric vehicles. Electricity is typically generated on board rechargeable battery packs, and in some cases the use of capacitors or flywheels. The charging of the battery can be made in a way similar to those of PHEVs, that is, either in standard household electricity outlets or in external dedicated charging stations. And now here is and comparison of the technical characteristics of the three types of the electrical vehicles is shown in this particular table. And FEVs operate on only battery charge and therefore always employ the charge depleting mode of operating, requiring high power, high energy battery packs primarily offered by the lithium batteries. On the other hand, PHEVs offer the possibility of on-board battery charging and option of the charging depleting or charging sustainability modes of the operation. Therefore, their demands on the battery performance are less strict compared to the FEVs and can be satisfied by the both lithium ion and NIMH batteries. Finally, HEVs, which were the first type of electric vehicles to be manufactured, offer higher traveling range compared to the PHEVs and FEVs due to existence of the ICE. Essentially, there are two efficiency indicators that are useful to evaluate the fuel economy and the tailpipe emission of the electric vehicles. And coming to the comparison of fuel economy and CO2 emissions of electric vehicles. So in this slide, the overview of regarding electric vehicle technology and associated charging mechanisms is carried out. The view of recovered a broad range of the topics related to electric vehicles, such as the basic types of these vehicles and their technical characteristics, fuel economy and CO2 emissions, the electric vehicle charging mechanism, and the notations of the grid to vehicles and vehicle to the grid architectures. In particularly, three main types of the electric vehicles, namely hybrid electric vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, and full electric vehicles. The major difference between these types of the vehicles, for the last two types, the battery can be externally recharged. When the electric vehicles are recharged from electricity produced from conventional technology power plants such as oil or coal-fired plants, they may produce equal or sometimes more greenhouse gas emissions than the conventional gasoline vehicles. Now coming to the SWOT analysis: strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats. Now coming to the strengths: eco-friendly, silent, low cost of ownership, cheaper to run, energy savings, achievable from the regenerative braking system, and simpler mechanism. Coming to the weakness: